Welcome to the Planner Suite. I'm Amy, founder and CEO. I lead the vision, strategy, and client experience.
And I'm Whitney, a lead planner on our team. I work directly with our couples and oversee logistics and execution.
Together, we've planned and produced hundreds of events, and we see the industry from both sides, the vision and the execution.
This show is all about clarity, better planning, smarter systems, and confident decisions without the chaos.
So we don't just talk about what looks good here and on social media, we talk about what really actually works.
So whether you're planning a wedding or you're building a planning business, you are in the right place. So meet us right back here in the Planner Suite. Welcome back to another episode of the Planner Suite. We always do budget breakdowns and we talk about the major costs that are associated with weddings, venues, transportation, makeup, hair. But there are some hidden costs that couples don't ever think about.
I think this is really important. I can't tell you how many times couples are like, whoa, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know I had to pay for that.
My card is maxed out. I can't afford anything else.
I think we're going to drop some gems in this episode, letting people know certain things. And I have some tips at the end that aren't really a hidden cost, but just a word of an advice, a couple financial advice things that could help your wedding process.
Absolutely. So go ahead, start us off, Amy.
First hidden cost we have today is service charges and gratuities. Huge. Weddings, hotels, and even catering, 20%. I think that's the biggest thing I see, 20% service charge. If they say the food and beverage minimum is $8,000 and then you have your service charge or your service tax, and then you have an alcohol tax, then some cities have a tax, like DC has a tax. Before you know it, you're at like 38% in taxes and fees. And that adds up. That is a percentage of the amount that you spend. So that is a hidden fee that I think a lot of people don't realize. They look at the venue or they're like, oh, the food and beverage minimum is only $2,000. And then before you know it, $2,000 is actually almost $5,000.
Absolutely. Add that little extra because it's always a tax, always an extra charge.
That's a big thing to factor into your budget, along with also if you do a consumption open bar, and you are like, okay, consumption open bar is you guys pick the amount that you want the bar to serve, or you say, hey, we don't have a lot of big drinkers. We're just going to pay the tab at the end of the night. A lot of our couples, what they do is they'll say, hey, we have $5,000 to put down at the bar. But remember, that's not actually $5,000. That is $5,000, then the 20% and all of the other fees. Or you are saying, hey, we can spend $3,000 and then the fees.
Right. Absolutely. That's really great, Amy. Number 2 is vendor meals. A lot of people think about their guest count and they associate that with the amount that they have to pay for catering, but you also have to pay the people who are there working with you for the night. And if you think about it, when a lot of vendors have contracts that include that, and sometimes vendor meals consist of sandwiches, but some vendors have now started putting a hot meal in their contract.
Yeah.
That's why it's very important to read your contract. And I've even heard stories of vendors who will leave because they are not getting fed.
Yeah.
And when you think about for example, if you have your makeup artist staying there all day, your photographer, your videographer, your planner, if you are not feeding them, some of them may say, hey, I'm going to go get some food and then come back. Think about the moments that they are missing while they are away, just doing basic needs like eating, when you could have just fed them and had them there on site all day.
Could you imagine?
Not getting fed?
Well, actually, I've not gotten fed before. It's in my contract now. I'm pescatarian, so you have to feed me seafood. Everyone has to have a hot meal. Even in our contract, I have to stay at the same hotel as the bride and groom. So if you're staying at the Salamander or the Four Seasons, I stay at the Salamander or the Four Seasons. But could you imagine, like, after your ceremony, your photographer is like, I'm sorry, I got to go to Chipotle, and you don't got no pictures? That's crazy.
And they're missing a moment. They're missing the first dance because they need to go get something to eat because you forgot to feed them.
Yeah.
And to my vendors, please include that in your contract as well to make sure that you are getting fed. It is a long day for us. 8-10 hours. You can pass out. I know I'd be ready to pass out. I claim that I'm going to pass out. But for real, if you don't eat, you will pass out. Yeah. So please ensure and cover yourself that you are getting something to eat.
Yeah. Next one that we have is overtime fees for venue, planner, DJ, or your photographer. Huge. And when I say overtime fees, I'm talking about, okay, how many hours do you need a photographer on site? Do you have a planner? And if you don't have a planner, are you going through the hours to say, hey, our photographer is here for 10 hours, but our 10 hours, if I have him come at 1 o'clock, ends at 10 p.m. and we don't cut the cake till 10:15. If you wanted that on camera, you're going to have to pay an overtime fee. And baby, the fee, same day, in-house, is not the same price as an additional hour,
just get
before
it
the
in
wedding.
Advance.
Yeah, just get it in advance. Also, that's with your venue too. So if you're running behind, I see this the most at weddings. When you're not on time, your itinerary falls off track, and then you need to add on time at the end of the night. Adding additional hours the day of at the venue is overtime too. And then for your planner.
I was about to say, we have an overtime fee.
My overtime fee is not just for if I go past a certain hour. Because I do believe some planners leave during the reception.
Yes.
Like they're just like, bye. Like this important stuff, like you guys can party on your own, etc. We are very exclusive. We stay the whole night. We make sure the bride and groom get back to their room. The overtime fees that we charge are for things that are not in our contract. So I'm not a decorator. So if you failed to get the decorator that was going to put down the linens, or a venue that was going to put down the linens, or your caterer does not do that, or your caterer decides not to bust the tables and my team has to do it, overtime, baby. That is out of my scope.
Also, we are not carriers. We are not an Uber carrier. I cannot run and do all your errands and pick up things for you. We have had couples try and send us to their house to pick up items that they may have left. Run into Walmart, run into Target. I'm a planner, not an errand runner.
And I get it. And at times, honestly, I'll be completely honest with you.
We do it.
We like to, help, but sometimes it gets a little too much.
Yeah.
These things, we have guided you to make the right decisions and all the things. And I feel like that's not our job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just not our job. Number 4 are the labor fees. And I always associate labor fees with decorators, florists, et cetera, because they are coming in and they are doing that work. So when you're doing that consultation, you see a package price. But there are extra fees associated with that package price because they are doing physical labor, putting things together, hanging things up. When you think about production, sometimes they're coming in. We always talk about the wedding where we had to bring in chandeliers. They're climbing on ladders, hanging up those chandeliers, doing pipe and drape, hurting themselves doing these things. So there's always a labor fee associated with whatever they do. So when you see that package price, there is going to be an additional price on your invoice. That may be taxes, that may be labor fees, maybe, as Amy said, state fees. There's always going to be additional costs in those package prices. And
in your decor packages, production packages, that labor fee is sometimes called setup and strike. That is when they come in, those are the people bringing it in, breaking it down. Another fee too I'm now seeing is room flip fees. So if you decide to get married in the same room as your reception, in order to flip that room in 1 hour, they need a team to do it.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work.
This is the easiest fee to explain to my clients.
What, the labor fee?
Yeah, easiest fee.
For sure.
I could do it alone. Will it be pretty? No, it won't be pretty. But if you want it to be efficient, if you want to be efficient, you have to pay the fees.
Right. Absolutely.
The next one is dress alterations and steaming. This is important. Alterations are expensive.
Yeah.
I find some couples some brides go, they get a dress. The dress is affordable. They're like, oh, I can get some alterations on it. The alterations is the same as the price, as the dress.
Alterations are sometimes just more than your dress. It's a lot of material. It's lace, it's embroidery, it's pearls, it's all the things.
You just got to get it custom, baby. No, seriously.
So then it can get fit to you.
Yeah, just get what you want. I think that makes a huge difference. I think that sometimes we're like, oh, the dress budget is $2,000 and then alterations. I think you can also get a custom dress.
Yeah.
Another thing, steaming. Whitney loves this. Steaming dresses.
I don't do it anymore, y'all. I did it when I first joined the team, but now I'm a lead planner, so I don't have to earn my way anymore. So I do not steam.
As the owner, she still needs to do it. But steam your outfits, steam your dresses. Tell your wedding party to take it. Take it to the dry cleaners. Get it steamed. But more importantly, we are not a dry cleaners. My steamer is from Target. It's less than $100. It is not doing anything to your $1,000 dress.
Right.
Take it to the cleaners, get it steamed. I know there's a lot of cost, but get it taken care of by a cleaners prior to.
It's not that costly. Because if my bride lives close to me, I will go pick up their dress and take it to the steamer. That's actually how much I hate steaming dresses, y'all. I will pick up bridesmaids' dresses, brides' dresses, take it to the cleaners. And a lot of times my bride's dresses, heavy dresses, embroidered dresses, $75.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it first from Whitney.
Yeah. $75. And then if you have a bridesmaid's dress and it's like silk, it's usually around like $40. It's not that terrible if you take it to the cleaners.
One other thing I'm going to tell y'all right now. Start taking them robes to the cleaners. Those robes be wrinkled in them pictures, and we don't want to see it anymore. In 2026, we don't want to see any wrinkled shirts. We don't want to see any wrinkled robes. And that's all I got to say.
We don't want to see wrinkled nothing, not even on your face. So get a good makeup artist, too.
Just the robes is really disrespectful.
Yeah.
They're taking them out the Shein bags.
The day of.
It's bad. It's really bad. So, yeah, that is the hidden cost.
They're checking to see if it's the right color. They're just pulling it out the day of.
I think that another hidden cost, I'm jumping off a little bit, is just the details. There's so many details in weddings that we forget about.
Right.
Really, if you see something in a picture that you like, really, you need all of the things. If you see a bride taking photos at a bridal suite with a beautiful view of the water, please do not go to the Hampton Suites. It is not going to look the same, baby. It is not.
Yes. You know what you want. You see the inspiration. Make sure that is aligning with what you're doing. Absolutely. The next is travel fees. Travel fees. You all love certain vendors. You all are flying vendors in from Florida, from Texas, Atlanta. There is going to be a travel fee associated with that. And also, a lot of times with that travel fee is their lodging fee, their plane ticket.
Yeah.
You have to cover all that because otherwise, how are they going to get there?
And meals.
And meals.
Yeah, yes. So it's not for just the day of, you're going to cover it for the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not, you can't just put them in any hotel. This is a big one that a lot of people have in their contract. There's a story on TikTok where a client put their wedding makeup artist like in the Motel 6 or something. And they were like, what? And they had to go book their own hotel. So yeah, it has to be a decent stay.
Quality lodging, whatever you would want for yourself, do it for your vendor. Also,
in New York City, there's a fee to go across the bridge or the tunnel.
Yes.
That's a big one because it's expensive to go. It's a Verrazano Bridge. It's really expensive to go across that bridge.
Also ferries and stuff like that too. You have to take into account all of that depending on where you live.
Next one is cake cutting and outside vendor fees. Huge, 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 huge. Cake cutting fee, I don't know if you guys know it. If you are taking a cake to your venue, they're not going to cut it for free. First of all, cutting a cake is hard.
Yeah. Please don't ask me to do it.
I've cut cakes before. I've jacked it up. It is a science. There's a cake cutting fee for most venues. Sometimes it's $100. Sometimes it's $2 per piece.
Yeah. I've seen it per piece. I've never seen a total price.
Sometimes for like social events, you see it like $80, $100. But yeah, that is a thing. And outside vendor fees, really, really important. If you are booking a venue and they want you to work off a preferred vendor list and you decide, hey, I really love this photographer and they're not on the list, a lot of times it's about a $500, $250, $1,000 just to bring in that vendor. So that is a fee that you guys need to be aware of. That is a major hidden fee.
Right.
Yeah.
Our next hidden cost is something we never want to think about, but the inclement weather additions that you may need. We all want the beautiful day for your wedding day. We want the sunshine. We want the slight breeze. But in reality, it's not always going to be like that. Sometimes you need heaters. Sometimes you need to pay for a tent because it may rain. Those are fees that you just need to have available just in case. And let me tell you, a tent is not cheap. It is thousands of dollars. So you need to make sure that you have that just in case.
Yeah, it's definitely not cheap 2 days before your wedding.
No.
Or the day before.
No, or the day of.
Yeah. Or just make sure you guys are booking a venue that has a inclement weather plan.
Right.
You know, so if they don't have a tent option, what do they typically do? Or how do they work around it? Some venues actually have in their contract, like if it does rain, they have a company that will come put it out at no expense to you.
Right.
Yeah. Next one is taxes, permits, and COIs. COIs is certificates of insurance. Some venues require you to have event insurance. So that's something to consider. Your vendors need to have COIs. In the event that they do not carry insurance, say we did not carry insurance, which we do, and we need to get a COI, a lot of vendors build that into their proposal and they charge you to get the certificate of insurance to provide to the venue. But that's a good thing. You want vendors that have insurance because if one of your guests get too drunk and a candle knocks over and something catches on fire, then the insurance will then cover that.
Right. In addition to that, I was going to say that's why it's important to work with vendors who are in this industry. I know sometimes we want to work with family, we want to work with friends, but they may not have a COI.
Yeah.
And so it's important to work with people who already have these things, who already have it in place. They are familiar with the industry. They are familiar with your type of event. They already know what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the taxes and permits part. So taxes is just standard. Like the IRS, the government's going to do the thing. They're going to get their taxes. But when you're spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in one lump sum, those taxes can be a lot. So make sure you guys chime into that. A lot of people try and go around it. I'm not going to talk about that on camera, but that's the thing. Next thing is permits. Permits are huge. Multiple reasons why you could have permits. One, if you're getting married in a city or somewhere like downtown and you need parking close, you can apply for permits in the city so that your guests can park closer and you can block it off. But also sometimes you need a tent permit, you know, from the county.
Yeah.
If they have a noise ordinance, you need a permit to go past that time. Lots of different things you need permits for. So make sure you guys consider that in your budget.
Number 10 are emergency items or last minute items. Maybe you have to add an extra table because extra people showed up who didn't RSVP, which that is a very common thing. You have to pay for that extra linen, extra china, extra decor. Maybe you need to fix a decor mix-up. That's an extra fee. Maybe you printed your pictures at Walgreens and you're opening it the day of and you realize, oh, this picture is not correct. Things such as that you have to fix to make sure that your day is perfect and exactly what you want it to be.
Another one is marriage, license, officiant fees. Some people think like pastors just do this for free and they just show up and they marry you. That is a lie. The church is a business. They usually expect a donation. If they don't tell you an amount, I think the staple now is like at least $500, like a $500 donation to your church. But your marriage fee, your marriage license, that costs. In addition to that, like changing your last name.
Yes.
There's a cost to that. Like it's a whole thing.
You have to change everything.
You have to change everything. They have a few companies that do it really well. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you could literally get all the forms and do it. But there is a fee for that as well.
And we'll put links to companies that help with that last name change in the description as well.
Along with the licenses, I'm also going to add ABC license to this because you might need an ABC license for your venue. And that's a huge one too, because if you don't have that ABC license, your friends are not turning up.
It's going to be a dry event.
Yes. Yeah.
And the final one is power, lighting, and sound. A lot of people are choosing these big venues and they are choosing their favorite DJ. If you have a big venue, you need to amplify that sound. That may be extra speakers. that may be a sound system that may be a little bit bigger, to make sure that it is crisp, that it is clean, and everybody can hear whatever is being said, whether it's through microphone or music, and they can have a good time. Also, lighting. We talk about lighting all the time, making sure that you have correct lighting to amplify your space and make it look good.
No, those are great. Like power lighting, especially with those tent weddings. I can't tell you how many people in the country get married, they get the tent, they think they have it all, and then the sun sets and you guys are in the dark with the coyotes and stuff, whatever y'all have out there in the country. You have to get lighting. Yeah, you have to get lighting. You have to get power. How's your DJ going to plug up and play music if there's no power on the field?
I was about to say a generator for those tent weddings, outside weddings. You need a generator.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than seeing the potential in a space and it completely lost because you just were not educated on what was needed for it. So that's a huge hidden fee. And I said I was going to give everybody a plug of what I tell people what to do for weddings and all the things. There's a lot of fees and costs. This should be an ad, but I really do think that you guys should apply for a Chase Sapphire, an American Express card, or a hotel credit card. If you're getting married at a Marriott or Hilton, get the hotel credit card, get the double, triple points. Take that, pay off your credit card, but use that for your honeymoon at one of those destinations. A lot of our couples, we recommended getting like the Amex or Chase Sapphire, went to Bora Bora for free, Maldives for free, put it all on, capture the points, use it, and et cetera. It makes it
those points rake up quickly.
Yeah.
Really quickly.
But the biggest hack is get the hotel credit card, do a hotel, get the points, and use it for what you need to do.
And do a room block.
And do a room block.
Add your member number.
Yeah.
And then you get all those points.
For room blocks, if your guests do not put, hotels, don't sue me for this. If your guests do not put their like Marriott Bonvoy number, you can get the points.
So hopefully this hidden cost episode was helpful to you. Hopefully these tips were helpful to you. We are always giving tips and tricks to help make this process smooth and as easy as possible for you. So if you want more and you just want to make sure that this process for you is seamless, be sure to check us right back here
in the Planner Suite.